Well, today we're continuing our series, Try It at Home. I'd like to open by saying most people don't quit because they're weak. They quit because they forget who they are. You ever started something and you gave up on it? New Year's resolutions. Maybe it has to do with health, healing, finances, maybe relationship, or some other area of your life. Maybe it wasn't working fast enough. You were praying and it just wasn't happening, so you just gave up on it. I think we've all probably done that at some time. I think it's important to remember you're not spiritually empty. You're spiritually forgetful. The truth is that everything we want is already within us. He said the kingdom of God is within you. Everything we want is already inside of us. And because people don't understand that, they think that prayer is somehow going to get God to do something for them. That if we beg, if we plead, if we bargain, or even if we affirm and speak positive words, or if we visualize, or we put pictures on the wall, that's going to get God to do it for us. And that's a misunderstanding of how it works, because it's already been done for us. The potential is already within us. Key is, can we accept it? Can we embody it? Can we embrace it? Can we say yes to it? You don't need more faith. You need more agreement. Accepting it. Faith doesn't give you the power. It releases the power that is already within you. The power is already within us. Faith isn't a key that turns God on to do our bidding, to give us what we want. Faith is the key that unlocks and allows Spirit to flow through us. I think it's important that we get that. It's already inside of us. Faith helps us turn it on. St. Paul said, "Stir up the gift of God that is within you." Stir it up. Turn it on. Accept it. Embrace it. It's like electricity. The circuits are here. The power is here. You got to turn on the light switch. When you turn the light switch on, we don't create the power. We accept it. We turn it on. We embrace it. We allow it. The power's already here. We're turning on the switch. That's what faith is. Faith turns on the switch. It doesn't make the power come. The power already is here. It helps us turn it on. So one of the things that is fundamental is accepting that I'm a spiritual being. I'm a spiritual being. I am God being me. I'm God being me. That means that all that God is, I have potentially within me to experience. That I can bring forth into my experience because I am that. I am that. Emerson said, "You are the inlet and may become the outlet for all there is in God." Our potential is infinite. It's infinite. Now we could say, well, that's interesting. I like to believe that. It's hard to believe that. That's why we've had these great sages come. To show it, to demonstrate it. When Jesus the Christ said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." When he said, "He who has seen me has seen the Father," he was demonstrating it. He was showing this. He said, "That which I do, you can do, and greater." He was the great example. And other sages have done the same. Moses, Krishna, Buddha, other great ones. Saint Teresa, Saint Francis, Yogananda, Mother Mary, and many people we've never heard of. You and I are expressions of God. It's all inside of us. And so we short-circuit it when we think that prayer is about getting God to do it for us. The old teaching, God can only do for you what God can do through you. Through you. We can't take an affirmation. We can, but good luck with it. Take an affirmation and say it, thinking that just saying the words is going to make something happen. Like a magic wand. That's not how it works. It can help. It can help us accept the reality that's inside of us. But it has to happen through our consciousness. The affirmations to help us affirm in words what's true about us. It doesn't make it true. It's already true. It's true, but we limit it by our thoughts, by our beliefs. If we say yes to it, yes to that potential, yes, I believe that, yes, I think it's possible, now we're turning on that faith that can allow it to come forth for us. But if we go, I don't think I can do that, I don't think this is possible, now we have put a ceiling on it. We have blocked the potential. Make sense? Faith does not make God work for you. God isn't going to do any more for you than she's already done. That's shocking for some people to hear that. What? What are you talking about? God is not going to do anything more for you, because God has already done it. She is ever seeking to unfold and express more and more through and as you. It's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. It's up to us to accept it, to bring it forth, to believe in it, to allow it to come forth. She's already done it. The kingdom is within you. It's done. Can we accept it? Can we embrace it? Can we know it? That's ours to do. Does faith make God work for you? The late Eric Butterworth asks. Or is it the activity of faith, the activity of God working in you that gives you faith? Does faith make God work for you? Or is it the activity of God working in you that gives you faith? When we want to pray, we may think, well, I've got to pray to get God to help me. But the reality is that it's God's activity working in me, the intuitive sense that I can be healed, the intuitive sense that I can be effective, the intuitive sense that I can overcome, the intuitive sense that I can have loving relationships, that I want to pray. Spirit working in me. Someone said, when the weather vane points to the north, it doesn't make the north wind blow, but it evidences the fact that the north wind is already blowing. When we want to pray, it's the activity of Spirit working in us. When we want to pray for harmony, when we want to pray for divine order, when we want to pray for a loved one, when we want to pray for anything at all, it's the north wind of Spirit knocking on the door of our heart saying, this is possible. This is possible. Let it happen. Let it unfold. Accept that for yourself. Faith doesn't make God work for you. It's the activity of God working in you that gives you faith. Faith doesn't change anything. It accepts the reality of what is. When we have faith, it doesn't make God make everything different, because it's already here. Spirit is already here. The kingdom is already within us. The kingdom is at hand. If you had a rubber band around your hand cutting off the flow of circulation and your fingers started to turn blue, and you say, gee, I really don't want my hand to fall off, though some of you may feel like it in this weather out here. If you remove the rubber band and the blood starts to flow and your fingers go from red or blue to a nice natural color, you didn't make your hand change. You didn't make the blood. You didn't make the life. You pulled off the rubber band and you accepted a natural flow of life and blood into the hand. Prayer, faith, doesn't make the reality. It accepts what is and allows it to flow. Let's use the example of the flat earth. Now, I'm going to use this as an example just because I think it illustrates the point pretty well. The time when people thought the earth was flat. Well, educated people didn't believe the earth was flat. But there were people who did believe the earth was flat. And so, there were maps with monsters and stuff. If you sailed too far, you could fall off, right? Because the earth was flat. So they believed the earth was flat. Then, when they realized the earth wasn't flat, they could start to sail and go wherever they wanted to. What changed? Their belief. That's it. That's it. The earth didn't change. Columbus didn't make the earth round. But when they started to accept the reality is the earth is round, it's not flat, their behavior changed. Their belief didn't change reality. The earth was always round. You and I are spiritual beings. But if we believe we're flat, if we believe limitation, there's not a thing God can do for us unless we shift the belief and how we see ourselves. Myrtle Fillmore, co-founder of Unity. She had tuberculosis. She had months to live. She was a flat person. She was flat. She was sickly. And then she had an awakening. As a child of God, I don't inherit sickness. And through a lot of spiritual work, an acceptance in her consciousness, she was healed and went on to live 40 more years. She accepted the reality of God's life. She accepted the reality that as a child of God, I don't have to be sick. She started to see herself differently. She went from the world is flat, I'm sickly, I'm dying, I inherited this, to I'm a whole spiritual being. Didn't change reality, just changed her thought process. Making sense to anybody? In 1854 in London, people were terrified of cholera. They were terrified of getting this. They thought it was caused by bad smells. So they tried to do whatever they could to eliminate bad smells. But a Dr. Snow, John Snow, started to interview families to find out what was going on. And he linked it all back to a public pump, water pump on Broad Street. And realized it wasn't the bad smells, it was the contaminated pump, the water. When they discovered that, people's behavior changed. They stopped trying to deal with bad odor and they dealt with the water pump. The reality was the same, but their beliefs changed, and so did their behavior. So that's what we're saying. The faith doesn't change anything out here. Faith accepts the reality of what is. The truth was before they believed it. Belief just changed their reality. One thing we can do is remove the word impossible from our vocabulary. You ever say it's impossible? It's impossible. We can remove the word impossible from our vocabulary. On the first steamship, the story goes, the captain had a whole manual in his compartment about why it was impossible to ever have a steamship work in his first voyage. Impossible. Aurobindo said, "What I cannot do now is the sign of what I shall do hereafter. The sense of impossibility is the beginning of all possibilities." So here's an interesting idea, and that is what may seem impossible now, if you desire it. Remember in part 1, we said, what do you desire? What is God tapping on the door of your heart? What do you want for yourself? Healing, love, overcoming. What do you want for yourself? That's Spirit working in us, tapping on the door of our heart, saying, this is what I want to express through you. And now the key is, do you accept it? Do you believe it? Do you want it for yourself? How many of you can remember what you desire for yourself? How many of you can remember something that you really want for yourself? Yeah? We got one person in here. What do you want for yourself? How about you online? What do you want for yourself? Okay? So, why do you want that for yourself? First of all, did it come from inside of you? Or is it something that somebody else wants for you? Is it something you think you should want? Is it something that somebody else thinks you should want? That's not what we're talking about. Is what you want for yourself something that you get from looking at what others have? Oh, I want that. It's one of the problems with social media now, right? You go and you look at other people's lives, you go, oh, God, people feel more depressed after social media because everybody's showing their best self online. We go, oh, wow, look what a great life they have compared to mine. You know, what is it coming from inside of you? That's the key we said last time. That's one of the challenges of doing treasure maps, looking at magazines and pasting pictures. Are you pasting the pictures as a reflection of what's inside of you, or are you just getting, caught up in, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, putting it on the wall and go, let's have that. So what do you want? And now the next step is, a lot of people quit because they don't understand the process of faith. And they don't acknowledge, accept that if you want this, then it's God tapping on the door of your heart saying it's possible. Now, it may not be imminent. It may not happen tomorrow. It may not happen next week. It may not happen next year. It may not happen this lifetime, but it's possible. Remember the drawings of Da Vinci. He was drawing the flying machine centuries ago. That was God tapping on the door of his heart saying, this is possible. In the old TV shows, people go up in space, flying to other planets. It was tapping on the door. This is possible. Robots serving people. God tapping on the door. This is possible. God tapping on the door of your heart. This is possible for you. But can you accept it? Can you embrace it for yourself? And that's the key. So here's the challenge that we have. When we think of faith as some kind of miracle magic power, if you have faith, God's going to work some hocus pocus magic and it's just going to happen. Here's the problem with that. Miracles imply it's not possible. And when you think it takes a miracle, now its tendency is to conjure all the reasons why you can't do what you want to do. Because it takes a miracle. Instead, let's flip the switch on that. Remember the electricity? Let's flip the switch. And acknowledge that if you want this for yourself, then it is possible. God is tapping on the door of your heart. So try writing down all the reasons you think it is possible. Write down all the reasons you think it is possible to have what it is that you want to have, do and be what you want to be and do. And as we start to write those reasons down, we'll find we get more and more of those reasons. See, as opposed to the opposite. When you doubt, you find all the reasons why it's not possible. Now, maybe you started something and you gave up on it. Maybe you started and you go, oh, this isn't good. I can't, it's not working. I did the affirmation, it's not working. I prayed for a whole week and it's not working. And you know, if you're praying to get God to do something for you, that becomes a lot of work and it becomes tiring. We're not saying to do it that way. Write down all the reasons you can for why it's possible for you. And this next point is very important. The late Eric Butterworth said, "Your faith in God can never exceed your faith in yourself." You get that? Your faith in God can never exceed your faith in yourself. Oh, I believe in God. God can do anything. God can make me prosperous. God can heal me. God can help me overcome. But you're the activity of God. You're the activity of God. God is being you. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in God being God as you, then how can God do anything for you? That's a tough one. Do you feel worthy of healing? Do you feel worthy of success? Do you feel worthy of overcoming? That's a key, because God can only do for you what she can do through you. And if we don't feel worthy, how can Spirit flow through that consciousness? So here's what we need to do. We need to cultivate our sense of worthiness. We need to cultivate our sense of self-appreciation. You and I are a child of God. You're a child of God. You are a spiritual being. That means you are worthy. What do you want in your life? What do you want to be? What do you want to experience? You are worthy. I am worthy. Say that with me together. I am worthy. Again, I am worthy. He said it's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. I am worthy. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of health. I am worthy of success. I am worthy of overcoming. I am worthy of whatever it is that I want to do and be. I'm worthy. If anyone on the planet is worthy, you are worthy. Because everybody is God's child. Everyone is created in the image and likeness of God. If any one person is worthy, you too are worthy. So how do you cultivate this sense of worthiness? Some little superficial things after the fundamental principle of I'm a spiritual being. God is expressing as me, accepting that. Some superficial little things is when you go and wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror, instead of going, oh my God, you smile at yourself. You smile at yourself. Hello there, sweetheart. Aren't you wonderful? Why are you wonderful? Because you are God living itself as you. You can look in your eyes in the mirror and acknowledge that's God in there. Your awareness is God being itself as you. You're God in there. Hello, God in there. I am God being me. Wow. Hello, God. These are some of the things we can do. Acknowledging our worthiness. Be a front seater. What is a front seater? Whenever you go somewhere, sitting in the front seat. Sitting in the front seat saying, look, I'm valuable, I'm important, I can be in the front seat. A lot of people don't want to be seen. They don't want to sit in the front seat. They want to hide a little bit. That may not be the case here. But being a front seater, sitting in the front seat. What are some other little things you can do to appreciate who you are, to develop that sense of worth? How about eye contact? A lot of people don't keep eye contact. They avoid eye contact. They're afraid to look in people's eyes. They're afraid of what others are going to see. Having eye contact develops a sense of confidence and worth and self-belief. How about speaking up in a group? A lot of people don't want to speak up in groups. They are afraid. They are afraid of being embarrassed. They don't think their ideas are valuable. They don't think they have anything worthwhile to say. Practice speaking up. Usually in a group, there's always 2 or 3 who do all the talking, right? And others keep quiet. Practice valuing your opinions and speaking up. If you want to say something that's meaningful, there are plenty of people who talk just to hear themselves talk. They want to talk because that's what they do. They talk, you know. I've got something to say, and it's not much because they're just talking. We're not talking about that. We're saying you have something valuable to say. Value yourself enough to share it, to speak up. So those are some little superficial types of things that we can practice to develop that sense of worth and worthiness. So in part 1, we said, what is your mental image for yourself? What do you want? Recognize that what you want implies that it's possible, that it's a potential within you already. The key is to embrace it and to accept it. And then today, we're saying a lot of people quit because they don't understand what faith is all about. They don't really realize that as a spiritual being, it's all inside of me. It's already inside of me. And my faith is to say yes to it. My faith is to say, I can do it because it's possible. It's in me. I can do it. Yes, God. Yes. That spiritual process is always working. My faith doesn't make it work. It's the activity of faith that gave me the desire in the first place. Affirmations don't make the process work. Positive thinking doesn't make the process work. It's always working. And the key is, how much can I accept of it? Do I feel worthy of it? One leap of insight I recently had was this. It was a story that the sage Yogananda told. He said a man learned in the scripture, he was reading the Bible, and it said that if you have faith, you can move a mountain. Man got real excited about that because outside his bedroom window was a hill blocking his view of the lake. So he prayed that night. He prayed earnestly, God, remove that hill. Remove that hill. And then he went to bed. The next morning, he got up, he ran to the window, and there was the hill. It hadn't budged an inch. And he said, I knew you would still be there. And Yogananda said, see, mere affirmation is not enough. A lot of people think faith is just saying, oh, I believe. Oh, yeah, I believe in God. Oh, I believe God can do this. Or it's repeating an affirmation. No, it's much deeper. Faith is saying it's in me, it's saying yes to it, and it's experiencing the depth of God's presence within us. That's where the power is. It's embracing what is true on a deep level. It's acknowledging and experiencing I am. It's experiencing our unity with God on a deep level. Some of you know I've struggled with headaches for the last 14 years. It's caused through a lot of testing and going to different doctors. It's from arthritis in the neck that causes the headaches. The interesting thing is, there's been times where we're like, I don't understand. I've been meditating twice a day for 30 years. Why this situation? And this is why what I said, I had a spiritual awareness about this. I've had other healings. I had golf elbow for 4 years. It's gone. I had a pain in my back. It's gone. I've had other things healed. But not yet that. And here's what I think. That man did not have the faith to move a mountain. He wanted to, but he didn't have the consciousness, you see. For whatever reason, my consciousness still has that challenge. Maybe I have more growth to do in the awareness of the healing and wholeness. Or maybe it teaches me something, which I've learned from it. It helps me to grow in some way. But what I'm saying is this. We have to develop the consciousness. You can't just, I'm going to believe, I'm going to speak an affirmation, and all of a sudden you can raise the dead. You can make a hill move outside your yard. Is it possible? Yes. Is your consciousness there? Maybe not. Maybe not. So what are we saying? Don't quit. Keep on keeping on. Keep developing the consciousness. Keep developing the awareness of the depth of your spiritual essence. That's what I'm saying. Your dream may be a big one. It may be a big one. Don't do a little affirmation, a little prayer, and then give up on it. Realize, oh, I just need to keep growing. I need to keep developing the consciousness. I need to keep on keeping on in my faith. And one day, you may wake up and go, oh my God, the golf elbow's gone. Or, oh my goodness, the opportunity is right in front of me. Or, oh my goodness, I just got a $1 million idea. Or whatever it is that you want for yourself. This week, athletes from around the world are getting ready to compete in the Winter Olympics in Italy. And some of those people may not feel ready, but they're showing up anyway. They're showing up ready to give it their best. You may not feel ready, but show up. World leaders today are looking at the pain and suffering in the world. The Pope recently said there's really a decline in the sacredness of life and people's respect for life. Boy, that could be a reason for us to give up. But that's not what you and I are here to do. It's more vital than ever that we cultivate our faith, that we keep on keeping on, that we don't dim our light, we don't give up in our faith, but rather we let our light shine. Stay with it. Not to earn something, but to release within what's already yours. And next week, we'll talk about where all the work really is. Now that you know what you want, now that you understand what faith is all about, it's saying yes to that good and keeping on, not quitting. Much of the work we'll talk about next week, which is how do you bring it forth? Let's get still. And we end this time together recognizing I am a spiritual being having a human experience. That all that I desires me. It's seeking to unfold itself through and as me. And I don't have to make God do anything for me because it's already been done. The very desire for it indicates it's already a potential seeking to come forth through and as me. And I feel a release in that knowing. And I give my consent, my inner yes to this possibility. I say yes to the greater flow of life. I say yes to the greater flow of love. I say yes to the greater flow of prosperity and abundance. And so it is. Amen. Special thanks to our, we have our prosperity celebration now. We'll thank our musicians in just a moment. So let's take a moment now to acknowledge Spirit as the source of all of our good. And we bless our gifts today, participating in that divine activity of giving and receiving. And we acknowledge the infinite flow of substance within us,